This is a HeadGum podcast.
Picture this. You wake up in your $10,000 mattress, $15,000 thread count sheets, your cryogenic sleeping chamber of your mansion. Is 15,000 good?
15,000. Oh, 15,000 thread count sheets.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Okay, good. You go down to your futuristic kitchen. It's like kitchen assistant, kitchen robot.
Yes.
Can I have a green juice and a Americano on ice, please?
Coming right up.
Thank you.
Sir.
You check your schedule for the day. Oh, right. You have a meeting. You have a meeting with your boyfriend's boss, Roger Goodell, and President Joe Biden, and the head of the Illuminati. And it's in 10 minutes. But they've got some special project they want you to work on.
Should we make that a double espresso?
Yes, thank you, kitchen robot. Oh, the meeting starts. Gentlemen, hi.
Hello, Greg.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, pal. Hey.
So I have a pitch for something we could do to help Joe get into office this year.
Wow, I could use all the help I could get right now. What is it?
I'm listening as the president of the Illuminati.
Well, I was talking to Roger here, and I was thinking, what if, and we're going to have to start this way ahead of time, but what if we got Taylor Swift to be dating a player in the NFL, and then we rigged it so that his team could make the Super Bowl, and that...
Just like how I rigged the first election?
Yes, Joe, just like you rigged the last election. We could even use the same two teams if you wanted, honestly.
I trust them.
We get so that Taylor Swift can say she supports Biden and swing the election.
It's the thing I need. This is perfect, Greg. What a great idea.
Okay.
Now, hang on now.
Yes, Mr. Illuminati.
As the president of the Illuminati, I'll tell you my name at the end of this. Which teams will we be using? Taylor Swift could sway a lot of people, but it has to be the right team optically.
Yeah, obviously you wouldn't want Taylor to be like tied to a team that has any sort of issues with optics or any kind of cultural stuff. So let me see. The teams that were in the Super Bowl last time.
What about the Akron Spiders? Are they?
No, Joe,
That was the team I grew up with.
Joe, can someone give him his shot? He's sundowning again. The Akron Spiders haven't been a team since the 1800s.
Somebody give him his young person shot,
Yeah, give him his young person shot.
which at this point keeps him at 90 years old.
Keeps him at a sprightly 90. Oh, is it?
Yeah. What's the plan again, Greg?
Okay, so the teams you used last time were the Chiefs and the 49ers.
The Chiefs. Do the Chiefs.
Are you sure, sir? Because I feel like that might be a tough sell for Taylor's team.
Well, who's on the team? Let's see. Patrick Mahomes already has a white wife.
He sure does. He sure does.
I can't. She wouldn't dare go near Kadarius Toney.
And, I don't entirely blame her on that one.
As a matter of... Wait, what do you mean?
He seems like he's a little unhinged.
As a matter of fact, let's have him not play in the AFC Championship game.
Well, I mean, but to justify that, we'll have to have him make some really terrible plays all year.
But we'll have to say he's hurt.
Yes, we'll say he's hurt. Let's see. Who else is on the team?
What about backup guard Nick Allegretti?
I love it.
Well, now hold on. Now I feel like Taylor's...
He's a big boy and he's got a baby face.
If I'm on Taylor's team at that point, I might say, like, what's in this for me? Shouldn't it be someone even a little bit closer to my level of fame? So I look to see if any of them... Because the guy's going to have to be able to sell the relationship, right?
Yes.
So I look to see if any of them had any acting experience. And other than Joe Thuney being in 41 episodes of HBO's In Treatment, I guess they did a few seasons where he was a therapist, but I haven't seen it. So what I have seen was that Travis Kelce had this show called Catching Kelce, where he's sort of...
I watched every episode.
Yeah.
Did you
Travis
really?
Kelce. I
One
don't
for
know
every
if I
state.
fully believe it. Travis Kelce likes some thick and chocolatey.
You got a lot of race-related opinions, Mr.
I'm the
Lieberman.
Illuminati, of course I do.
Okay. Yeah, then sounds good, right? Or no, you're saying you don't
I
believe
don't believe it. But
Hmm.
will America?
But maybe he can learn. He can be retrained.
Interesting. How will the Swifties react to Travis?
I mean,
Well, as the resident Swifty,
oh, Mr. Goodell, thank you.
as the resident Swifty, as long as he treats her okay, they'll love him.
Wow. Yeah. Raj, you were at the concert last night, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. I've gone to every single show.
Yeah.
The set list never changes, but God,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know,
not
it still
like-
surprises me.
It's not
every
like
time.
fish concerts where everyone's a different, unique snowflake.
There's some banter. There's some like personalized banter. But I love her.
All right. Well, great. So we're agreed. We'll have them date. We'll have some other teams maybe look at some point like they're gonna do something, make some noise this year. Since we're gonna screw the Ravens over, maybe we should have Lamar have a really, really fucking good season otherwise.
I guess.
What do you have against Lamar Jackson, Roger Goodell?
Why do you dislike him so much? I'm the race guy.
Yeah, he's the race guy.
It's just personal preference.
All right.
All right.
Let's not have Joe Biden weigh in on this. That could get ugly. All right. So, and then, Niners again, I guess.
I like that Nick Bosa.
All right.
I as well like the Nick Bosa.
We all like Nick Bosa here. I think we can all agree on that. All right. So it sounds good. We're going to rig it up.
Rig it up.
All right.
Why? Because it's script day.
It's script day. I like that I was rich in that reality.
Let's do it again. Let's change a few things.
I got that foosball's money pouring in. I used to know. I got sheets one time and actually put some research into how to get nice sheets.
15,000 thread count?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
real?
not. I was trying to go too high. I don't think that is real. But then once I said it, I realized I had. It's like if you ask me how high an airplane flies,
Mhm.
they say every time I'm on a plane, but I feel like I would be so far off.
30,000 feet.
30, yeah.
35.
That's
So
like
my
six-
flight,
that's
my
miles.
flight up to San Francisco was 31. Back was 29.
Well,
Damn.
that's low.
It
That
took a
feels
little bit
low.
longer. Took a little bit longer to get back.
Well, the winds.
54 minutes to get back. 48 minutes to get up.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand a lot of what makes airplanes do what they do.
It's the wings. It's all in the wings.
It's all about the wings.
All right, let's get into it.
Does
All right.
Go ahead,
anyone
say your
have any
piece.
strong feelings about games that occurred this week?
Strong as hell. Strong as hell.
Look, I think
Say what you got to say, motherfucker.
I think clearly both games, better teams won.
Okay. All right.
I think it's pretty inarguable. I think
Well, let's start with Chiefs Ravens.
yes.
Should we? Or because I feel like
wanna build up a
the
little
other
bit?
one is pretty cut and dry. The
Yeah.
Lions fucked it up,
God, that sucked.
and we have been rooting for y'all.
Well,
Even though I voted against
Tyra Banks meme.
you, yeah, we were rooting for
We
you.
were all
We
rooting.
were all rooting for you.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker. And it felt like, what was the turning point? Like, what was the
for you.
moment?
The Gibbs fumble.
Yeah, but was it which happened first? Was it the Ayuk catch?
Yes, Ayuk catch into score. Gibbs fumble immediately. Score again, and then they go for it on fourth down and don't get it. I think that was the order.
What do you guys think of the fourth down? Because it seems like people are pretty split.
I don't hate. I mean, look.
Kick that field goal.
They
I
blew
thought so,
they
too.
blew
Like
the,
I thought so in the moment.
they blew the game. Obviously in retrospect, but that's always also like that's Dan Campbell's whole vibe. Though. It's just fucking like gunslinger cowboy. Like
I get it, but sometimes it's like read the room.
yeah,
You know what I
the
mean?
shit was slipping away from them, and getting a few points at least would have been good. I didn't hate it, but obviously it didn't work.
I know that like the kicker hadn't been doing great.
Boy, yeah,
lately.
didn't Moody miss another one too for the Niners?
Yeah.
He's been kind of shaky.
But in that moment, it's like I think you kind of want to stop the bleeding and just have it go back to being 0-0, essentially. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this thing is so close to getting away from you. Just try to just knot it up, and then we go. Okay, guys, take a deep breath. We're back to square one.
Yeah, it's
But worse than anything was the running the ball when you having to burn a timeout when you had all three.
when was it? Oh
That,
yeah,
at
yeah.
the very end, because the game that ended the game.
Oh,
essentially.
running it at the goal line. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was there's like a minute or something left. I think on second or
It
third
was third down. I think.
third down, they try to shock them by running the ball, and they don't. Obviously, they don't score, so they have to burn a timeout, leaving them with two. So they eventually got the touchdown, but then they
had
were
to
1,000%
onside kick
reliant on
because-
an onside kick,
yeah.
which like you're not going to get. It's just not going to happen. You got to throw the ball on all four of those downs.
Yeah, it was tough. It was. I feel bad for Jamison Williams. I feel like that could have been like the Jamison Williams breakout game.
It was happening.
He had the big touchdown run, right? And then didn't he have a touchdown catch too?
He had the touchdown run. He had the touchdown catch. He had the touchdown dance. He was doing it all.
I was unable to watch the game because I was coaching an improv team.
I mostly saw the second half. I missed large swaths of the first.
I saw the
half.
first.
Should we say this? We're admitting
What
this?
nerds?
Yeah, nerds, real nerds.
So you missed the game. So how did you? Were you following along?
I was
Did you watch
following
the
along.
highlights?
I would like check every now and then just to see the score, and then
So how you feeling at halftime?
I was like, oh hell yeah, let's go. At least one good thing happened today.
Yeah.
And then it was bad. It was totally like
So you're like checking the ESPN like Game Center. You're kind of slowly seeing it turn.
and then people are texting like Detroit is fucking up. Detroit is falling off.
Man, and they looked so unstoppable on offense.
In the first half, yeah. I mean, like St. Brown had a big first half.
They couldn't stop them.
They couldn't stop the run. They got a
offensive
lot
line
of
was
stops
just,
on
like,
Purdy.
Cooking.
I'll say this, and it brings me no pleasure. Purdy made some plays in the second half, man. He made some big plays with his legs.
Yeah, he had the big scramble. I'm just now remembering the game. Like I watched it at a bar. Watching games at bars sometimes, like there's too much going on, and like so I have a hard time like paying attention to the game. So like my recall is a little off. But yeah, he had the big that big scramble that felt like the final gut punch.
Yeah, he had a couple like third and long scrambles, and yeah, it was tough. I mean, my consolation, if we were gonna do the ranking of the misery, it would be tough this week. Because if you'd have told me going in that those two teams would have lost, I would have been like, oh, well, Baltimore way more miserable than Detroit. Detroit hasn't been this far. But now
They're
Detroit,
pretty equally miserable, I think, for both
I
fan
think,
bases.
because
I think
they
the most miserable is America. America lost. America lost yesterday. The two teams that we were pulling for, the Lamar Jackson and the Detroit Lions as a team, both just shat the bed, just unimaginably.
You know, it's funny they do that map of all of the U.S. with who each state is rooting for, and so it's like just California is for Niners and everyone else is for Lions.
Yeah,
And for the other one, it was just Missouri and Kansas and Ohio for the Chiefs.
Oh, Browns.
Because
well, Ohio said fuck them both.
the Ravens, stole the Browns away and everything. But I was like, I'm the guy who's like, well, I technically am from Ohio, and yes, but for me, it's because I'm a Steelers fan, and I could still just never bring myself to pull for the Ravens because they've
That's
honestly
what
been our
James was on in
biggest
the group
rival
chat.
in my lifetime.
James,
James Mastriani.
James was kind of acting as my proxy on a group.
Yeah, because
chat.
he wasn't texting.
Oh, you
I
guys
wasn't
were
texting.
together.
He
though.
wasn't.
No,
he
you
didn't.
weren't together.
This motherfucker didn't text until the game was over and gonna talk about some hello. It's like fuck off. Fuck you. No, you got to get up in here. You got to take this heat. You got to talk.
I'm watching
man.
a fucking game. I could not have cared less about this like text thread that's blowing up. Everyone's all pissed. I'm I'm fucking freaking out.
Freaking out about what? You knew you all was gonna cheat.
Cheat.
Fully cheat. Listen, I'm not. Here's what I said at the end, and I said that I would say this to his face. By the way, before I forget, I was in San Francisco this weekend. Met listener Jacob, who was in the fantasy group.
Oh, nice.
He was there with his team. Shout out to listener Jacob.
His improv team?
He was there with his improv or sketch
great.
team. I don't know which art form they were participating in, but it was a team of people there. Shout out to him and his team. He was very nice, cool guy.
Shout out.
With that being said, I came back early to watch these games. Me and Phil both flew back on the early flight from San Fran. We went to his place, got home state, which made me shit all day.
And we're available for sponsors.
We are available.
I'm
not
getting
gonna
a
stop eating it.
Pecos, a Brazos, and a Guadalupe, and some loaded queso, and then shit all day. It's worth it.
I think it was more jet lag.
When you were shitting, were you like worth it?
I was pissed. Oh yeah, it was absolutely worth it.
Yeah,
Because like home state is good.
Home state is good.
Yeah, Homestead's great.
Home state's good as hell.
I made nachos.
You came back early with Phil. Does Phil have a team that he pulls for?
Eagles kinda, but he kind of doesn't really like watch like that. Which is such a sweet existence.
Yeah. Oh God, blissful.
I'm so jealous.
Jealous. I mean, he was pulling for Lamar, of course. We were all pulling for Lamar. That man, and of course, like clockwork, he got his ass chewed out today, and it's just unfortunate. Like NFC Championship is still a far place to take your team. He had the weapons. They didn't show up.
Yeah.
AFC Championship rather.
I mean, let's go into it. The Kansas City defense is really good. It's a
especially
different
when they don't call anything on.
It's a different Chiefs
a
team
great
than
defense.
we've seen. The more of the talent on the defensive side of the ball and less in the weapons for Mahomes. So like they're winning.
That was the payoff. The idea,
Yeah.
I think, was we're going to invest, especially like the last two drafts, we're going to invest heavily on the defensive side of the ball, and we'll let the offense kind of work itself out. It was sort of what the Packers tried to do a lot
and
over
what the
years
Patriots
with
would
Rodgers.
do too.
Yeah.
I feel like with Brady. So
I'm sensing a pattern. Because they didn't used to get shit called on them either.
so
Three missed pass interferences in a row.
I-
Three missed. You cannot deny them.
There was one that was like obviously, yes, the Shamari Connor one on, I think it was Andrews. Like that was like, and they said it in the booth, like that's obviously pass interference, and that should have been called.
There was one that was like, oh, that was pass interference, but then it was like, but he was throwing the ball away, so it was uncatchable. But then they were like, oh, but that's holding and should have been called anyway. I think that was before the Ravens had to settle for a field goal at the very end.
That's the Shamari Connor one.
That's
That was
the
the
one-
one that was like,
the one
okay,
on-
that's
I
pretty
agree
good.
with that one.
The one on Odell.
I don't
Absolute
I
remember.
wouldn't have
pass
been shocked
interference.
on if any of those gotten thrown, but I think you could also like say that's like no one's catching those passes. Like
People
they're-
catching those passes. They're catching the passes.
they were sailing.
And then the one in the end zone. The one in the end zone, shaky.
My
I'll give
question
you
on
that.
interception. On the
The
interception.
interception.
Yeah, because
I'll give you
the
that.
question is like,
He definitely got pushed in the back, but the ball was underthrown.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like the ball's underthrown, the wideout stops, and the DB is on his butt and runs into him. I
But
don't
that
know.
gets called all the time.
It's like the Chris Paul, like
I think on the
bringing it up the court with the defender on your back, and you stop and let him run into you. Where it's like it's getting called a little less now that people, I feel like,
The
have
people that
pointed it out.
the
We're
league
talking
don't
about
like do it.
the underthrown, the receiver's going back and has to run through the cornerback. That
I'm saying like, yeah, the receiver stops or tries to start going back to the ball, and
Yeah.
the guy runs into him.
It gets.
But
I
that
see
was-
that called all the time.
Yeah.
I
that one
can't
still
believe.
gets
Did you
called
see the replay that Isaiah Likely threw his hand up on that play?
oh yeah, when
He was
did
open at
triple
that moment. It just
He
wasn't.
was running into triple coverage.
He eventually got into triple coverage, and that last player against him pushed him in the back. So but if the ball when he threw his hand up, he was being trailed, and then once he got in the end zone and the ball was short,
Safety came
he
on.
got pushed. It's just there's nothing you could do at that point.
Who's the guy who made the pick? It was the guy who just come into the
Deion
game
Bush.
like 2 plays earlier, right?
Yeah, Deion Bush.
Gosh, what a bummer.
The tough thing was that, like, speaking of Jameson Williams, Zay Flowers. Like that could have been a Zay Flowers. He's had good games, but like
the touchdown pass in the first quarter was really great. Like that was a great.
That was Lamar at the height of his powers, man.
But also really great because by that point it was a broken play already, and so Flowers finding like empty space and getting open was really, really smart. Like that was a vet play.
It felt like the plays that, like when Ben Roethlisberger was in his prime and could shake guys off and run around with his eyes downfield to still throw. Those were the type of plays where like your receiver who could get space on a broken play, like Hines Ward and later Antonio Brown, like those were the guys we love, and that's what it was from Flowers. And then he's looking at. Then he has another big play. The taunting call, like,
man,
that's what it is.
I want to walk out of here right now.
As soon as he flipped the ball and got up, we all knew a flag was coming. You sat there and you cannot tell me that you were like, wait, a flag? Like we all like that gets called 100% of the time.
I've never seen it be called. I've never seen a play like that be called where the dude is grabbing him still. After he's down, the guy still has his hand on him, and he takes his hand off of him, and then he does taunt. But it's like, bro, what? Now we want to call that shit after Travis Kelce has been acting a complete dick the whole fucking game, every single play, and they're talking about he's passing Jerry Rice for receptions in a game. Now the one time where Pat Mahomes got hit and he caught that ball, I was like, that's fucking tight.
Yeah,
which on the
diving
kind of like the
yeah. But the other ones were just like little check downs, like little short over the middle, like
the fourth down. He had a pretty good fourth down catch over.
The touchdown was tight too. The touchdown was
that
good.
was just a sick throw.
Like the taunting thing for me is like
don't call that right there, bro.
I think they got to change the rule, frankly.
I'm of the opinion it's like there should be no such thing as taunting. Like it's a stupid penalty in the first place. But like
it felt like a textbook kind of like this is what you get called for.
But there is the rule. So then he's gonna and it's truly the ball. Like
that was like a 50-yard catch for Flowers, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he spins the ball. But it's not. I think it's
the ball looking.
It's the standing over him. Right? Like that's what it gets. That's what guys get texts for in the NBA.
Damian Williams in a playoff game against the Texans a few years back, he did the exact same thing with the football, and we got flagged. Like
Juju got it once.
Yeah,
when he fucked
it's
up.
coming.
I forget who he fucked up. But like, so Flowers gets a 50-yard catch, then the taunting call. Fuck.
So 15 yards.
Then he
from
gets so he
still
gets
first and 10.
But then he gets another catch.
Yeah,
and
then no, he gets another catch between them. I think too. He gets the 15 yards back on another catch, and then on yet another catch, he's diving into the end zone. And at least it was the Chiefs actually recovered the ball. If it had been that fucking crazy rule where it crosses into the end zone, then goes out of bounds, and it's the other team's ball at the 20,
which we got burned on last week.
Yes, which is a crazy rule. At least it was a natural recovery, but it was real close. It was pretty clear it was out.
Chiefs got burned on that rule last week, and I'll say I'm cool with that rule. Like I think it's like it makes the goal line more important.
Yeah, but it also discourages guys from trying to dive for the goal line, and I want that to be encouraged.
He shouldn't have dove at that point, but
I know.
In that moment,
he wasn't.
Me sitting on the couch saying this, in that moment, you do that.
Yeah,
you do that. He just was a little bit too short. He should have just taken the tackle.
And McDuffie made a great play.
Snead.
Was it Snead?
Oh. Yeah. That was heartbreaking. That was like nothing I can complain about on that play. It was clearly out before the goal line. Oh boy, that was a bummer. I'll say this. Let me make sure, because I know there are probably a lot of Chiefs fans out there. We know we got a lot of Swifties who listen to this show.
I mean,
let me say this.
Goodell himself.
Lamar Jackson didn't play well. He does not deserve the hate he's getting today. He had a fucking fantastic season.
He did.
He deserves to be the MVP. He was the best quarterback in football in the regular season. The Chiefs. Oh well, let me stick to Baltimore. Let me move that piece down to number 2. Number 1, offensive coordinator should be fired after the calling.
Yeah, just not running the ball. It was
they got out coached pretty good. I mean, and he had a great year. I mean, I think he's getting head coaching interviews and shit like that. Who is it? Is it
who's their OC?
You've got
bullshit McDuffie.
McDonald or whatever.
I mean, I think I saw a stat that they only ran the ball on first down 3 times.
Bro.
I think it was like 5. Yeah.
Now, we knew that. Who's the defensive coordinator for
Spagnuolo?
Steve Spagnuolo. Like, we knew that he was going to stop the run.
Todd Monken.
And also, like, it has always kind of a little bit been the book on Lamar that blitz is the way to stop him, right?
He was getting out of a lot of them, man.
No, he does.
So acrobatic.
Oh, my God. I mean, the touchdown, first of all. And then there was also Purdy had an insane shake of a sack at one point that I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, I mean, Lamar was evading, but they were sending so much pressure. They were sending so much pressure in such creative ways and getting just like free shots at him but all the more reason that like not running the ball on first down was killing them.
It was killing them, man.
I mean, they scored.
They seem like super dead set on wanting to just throw the ball 40 times. And I'm like, why are you taking away the dynamics of having Lamar Jackson?
The best players on the Chiefs are their secondary. I mean, besides Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah.
The best players are their defensive secondary with McDuffie and Snead and why are you trying to throw the ball this many times when you got dynamic running backs? When you got Lamar Jackson, the most dynamic quarterback.
I was most worried about going into the game, Mark Andrews, and I wonder how healthy, if he had some rust on him, because I was like, man, that's the one guy that I don't know if it's going to be like Justin Reed lining up on him. They're going to have to like double him. I was terrified that it would be Nick Bolton, who did not have a great game anyway. And so I was kind of surprised that he didn't get more touches because the Chiefs were locked. I mean, like, you did not hear Odell Beckham Jr.'s name until like late in the third quarter.
Wallace texted me at one point like, does Odell suck? Why doesn't he play anymore? And I was like, he's just there. I was like, he's just old. And then like the next play, he gets a big first down, and Wallace is like, you thought he was cooked. I was like, what do you want me to say? I just told you why he doesn't play.
Asking me a question.
Yeah.
He always texts at the wrong time too. Shut up, Wallace. I'm not trying to talk about this right now.
Yeah, he does. He loves to put salt in the wound.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So I think that's number one. You saying is it
offensive call?
They got out coached.
They got out coached. Number 2, Lamar didn't have a great game. I will give it that. The offensive line held up pretty well. Number 3, what's another criticism of them? Defense played good.
I think
especially
holding
the
Chiefs
half,
to 17 points is pretty good.
Defense played good.
17, right? 17-10 was the final?
Now let's get into the Chiefs.
The AFC champions.
And this is what sucks about this Super Bowl. This right here, because it's like, now I hate both of these teams.
I know.
And I wish the Super Bowl could end in a 0-0 tie and they have to split the fucking trophy.
That is, I think, that was why I was like, an extra reason to not want the Niners to win was that either matchup, once the Niners got in, was a Super Bowl we've seen pretty recently.
Yeah.
And obviously this one's even more recent. Was this 2020?
I don't even remember this game.
I got a question for you. Like, so who do you hate more? The Chiefs, the current Chiefs, or the Patriots dynasty?
The Patriots dynasty.
Okay, now you have an option. The closest thing you have to somebody toppling that dynasty is the current Chiefs. This current Chiefs team. Like, I mean, no one else is coming close for a minute. Somebody's going to have to play some catch up to get to where the Chiefs are to like try to maybe challenge that. So, in a sense, shouldn't you?
No, and here's why. Because I think you motherfuckers going to lose.
To the
every conversation about the 2024 election feels like
I was like, this game, like the Chiefs and 49ers feels like Trump versus Nikki Haley. It's like the 49ers are definitely Trump and the Chiefs are Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
So you're saying 84-15.
Like,
nice.
I mean, I'm just like, but here's what made me mad though. Cause I've said this. Do I root for the Chiefs? No. And I was like, I was getting Chiefs fatigue, but I'm like, listen, race relations are getting better in this country because I now hate a black quarterback. I wish Alex Smith was back.
You wish Alex Smith was black?
Was back.
Oh.
No, you're the one who's always saying you wish Alex Smith was black, right?
I just I have no justification for this. Well, it would have been nice to see a black guy get picked number 1 overall after playing for Utah. Tyler Huntley didn't go
so,
that high.
like, you came away from the game hating Mahomes more or Kelsey?
Kelsey and Mahomes. And here's why. It started, Mahomes I hate because of the calls that he gets. He bitches and moans constantly. All season, it was every game, bitching and bitching and bitching. And then when they win, he's like, yeah, man, we were the underdogs. We had no. It's like, fuck off. You were the underdogs because you weren't good this year. And then on top, but Kelsey's my man. Y'all seen the picture? That's my dog.
Yeah.
I texted him and was like, yo, man, lose my number.
We're done.
I would sell stock in that. He's not getting any more famous.
Taylor got you tripping out here, bro. Because first of all, the Justin Tucker stuff at the beginning of the game, bitch made.
What was going on? I don't understand how that's a thing that can happen.
So I'm hearing like a bunch of different things. One, they're saying like, oh, we were just messing around. Like it was all joking around. But I don't know.
He didn't look like he was messing around.
But then it sounds like I've heard multiple different things of like he shouldn't have been there. Like that was a weird don't go onto your side of the field. Why are you over on the Chiefs side? Like you're like
that's what I was wondering.
That's what I was
wondering.
Wrong. Yeah, because it reminded me of like Giannis with the ladder, and it's like fucking you gotta wait for Giannis to finish shooting before you bring the ladder out. I'm fucking sorry. Like you remember that?
But I'm saying
like if
they gotta wait for Justin Tucker to finish kicking.
I'm saying, but yeah. So I'm like, why is this not, or why is this a thing that can? Why isn't one guy on one side of the field and one guy on the other?
From what it sounded like, it was like Tucker was over there trying to fuck with him because the Chiefs were on their side of the field, and then Tucker came over and was like, I'm going to kick over here.
Was he trying to do like what Dylan Brooks does now, where he goes and stares at the other? Have you seen Dylan?
He's a kicker. I doubt he was doing that. Like he's the best kicker in the league, but I doubt he was doing that.
Yeah, so what is he?
Or it was they were fucking around, and like the video makes it look like it was more, but it was
more
just
malicious than it was.
Yeah.
And then like the chippiness, which football gets chippy, whatever. But I hate the retaliation rule. The ref is standing right there watching Travis Kelce initiate all this shit. Van Noy comes up to protect his teammate, and now he's getting the flag.
But
that's garbage.
But Kelce was just talking shit. Like
he was grabbing. He was grabbing jerseys. He was doing all types of talking shit. He could talk shit. Everybody talks shit. But when you grabbing, you can't grab. Don't fucking touch me, because then I'm allowed to hit your hand off of me. And then when Van Noy walked up, all he was doing was just, hey man, what's up? Like he bumped him. But you can do that though. If you can do one, you cannot touch anybody. You can't touch. You can talk shit all you want to. Travis Kelce put his hand on the player. Van Noy just came up and bumped into the guy. It should be no flag. It should be offsetting penalties, or it should be nothing.
I thought offsetting penalties were coming, but like
for it to be just on one guy.
But I think like push it.
I missed the Van Noy play. I did not see that.
It was because it wasn't nothing to see. It's like he did bump him. Like he didn't lead with his head. He ran into him. Like he was like, yo man, get the fuck back.
It was one of those ones where like whatever he's trying to break something up, but he goes in and he does like go in. Like he does go in with the helmet, but like, hey, it's like back off, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I thought both the roughing the passers were the right call. Like Clowney got him helmet to helmet.
I mean, at that point, there's
the
no
Travis
way.
Jones one was pretty, and honestly, that one
soft. That one was soft. The Clowney one, I give it to you.
Yeah,
that's crazy because I would go the other way. I was like, all right, the Clowney one is like,
well, it's continuation. I think that rule needs to be changed. They're protecting quarterbacks too much. They deserve to be hit, especially if they're bitches.
but see, like the Travis Jones one, my issue was one, like you hit the guy across the face. Like I don't care what, like you're getting the flag, but it was after the play when he put his knee into his neck, where I'm like, all right, that's a personal foul.
I didn't see that part. I didn't see that. If you pull that up, I didn't see it. But I did see him get hit in the face, and I was like, come on, man. We're going to do this for Travis. We're going to do this for Mahomes every fucking game. When Aaron, he didn't get close. He got hit in the face.
But I mean, it was like a smash.
Yeah, man, that's that dude's job. Like he's trying to get to him. If they can't touch him,
like you do it. Like you're playing the game.
Micah
but like
Parsons was murdering Jordan Love, And there was not one flag on that shit.
Really?
There was not one. He was killing them. Every play was late. He was getting jammed up. He was spin off because he's fucking good. And then he run, and Jordan Love had the ball thrown already. It's almost in the receiver's hand, and Michael Parsons is laying his ass out.
But the Travis Jones one, like, again, it's one of those ones, like, as soon as it happens, like, oh, well, we know a flag's coming on that because he got smacked in the face. Like, it wasn't, like, even if it wasn't an intentional, which I don't think the hit to the face was intentional. I think he was trying to, like, smack out a ball or doing something like that, but he hit the guy in the face. And, like, at best, you're getting illegal hands to the face, but when you're kind of like, it's kind of like
I'm very confused on illegal hands to the face too. So offensive players are allowed to hit the face of the defensive person.
No, it's. I think it's basically a face mask without latching on.
So every time Travis Kelce got the ball, he stiff armed to the face.
That's where it gets a little weird for me too on stiff arms because I've seen
also
guys.
Christian McCaffrey was doing it as well.
Yeah, I think for whatever reason that one's okay. Because I feel like I see guys stiff arm guys to the helmet
mask
and it's okay
all the time.
But I think,
but yeah, illegal hands to the face just means you did it, but you didn't grab.
Yeah.
And then is there a different category for what they did to Jalen Hurts on the tush push, where they grabbed the inside of the flap and tried to behead him?
That should be kicked out of the game.
I'm surprised they didn't get a flag when they hit Mahomes from the back, and when Travis caught that ball,
back shots.
The back shot when they gave Mahomes those back shots, hit it hard from the back. Shout out R. Kelly.
Hit a bucket from the back, make a holler.
I'm surprised they didn't get a call from that. It felt like you couldn't touch him all game. That ref, the home team wins the game 55% of the time when other refs are reffing. Guess how much they win?
I've heard about this with that ref, yeah. For whatever reason, he favors the away team. He's got like an 80% or something crazy, right?
40% the home team wins when he's reffing.
Yeah.
He must be like a contrarian. He's likes people to be mad at him, you think? Also, he needed a fucking cough drop. Let's just say that for a second. That was him, right?
He had lies in his voice.
His voice was cracking.
He had lies in his voice.
I'll say this. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty, like, honest fan. It's like, I'll call it for what it is. Like, if I think, like, we definitely got away with one on there. Or, like, I'll try not to let my bias shade me too much. Like, I've definitely seen the Chiefs get away with some, for sure. I've also seen them be on the wrong end of bad calls. It just happens. But I think for the most part, like, the idea that teams don't get penalties or like that teams get like beneficial calls, I think is a little overwrought. I think players can from time to time, but statistically, Mahomes doesn't draw a lot of penalties.
I mean,
Josh Allen, if you want to like get really pissed off about a guy that like seems to get like all the calls, on roughing the passer penalties, Mahomes draws a roughing the passer penalty every 0.55 per 100 attempts. So, and that's about kind of in the lower, like, third of the league.
If you'd have made me guess what, I would have been like, I don't know, 15 out of 100. Not based on, not even for Mahomes, but just for anyone.
Yeah, Lamar gets at about like 0.57. Josh Allen is somewhere like towers over everyone else at like 0.983. It's a pretty, so definitely, and like, I'm sure Brady.
So even the leader doesn't even get 1 per 100 throws?
I think like maybe per 100 drop back or something like that. Like
that's wild. That's not even 1 per every 2 games then.
Yeah, it's a weird.
To me, it's just about calling it evenly. There's flags on every play.
I mean,
yes, the fact that the Chiefs only got 1 holding call all day yesterday when they have
on defense
quite possibly
or offense.
offense.
Offense. We had 3 in a row.
When? Oh, at the end when they were trying to make up for the bullshit they had just called on the Ravens?
No, in the second quarter. Sure. You had the 2 Trey Smith.
What's his name? What's homeboy's name?
Jawan Taylor.
Jawan Taylor.
He got 1. Trey Smith had 2.
The fact that he only got 1 is insane. The fact that he never got a false start, insane. This dude is known. The guys that I work out with in my gym who play DN, both of them are like, oh, that dude's the biggest cheater in the fucking league. Like,
I mean, and he's like penalized for it.
He's the most penalized.
Yeah, he definitely had his like.
The timing was off. Listen, the Ravens did themselves no favors.
That's the thing.
The Ravens did themselves no favors. I have to say that. I'm upset. I'm bummed out that Lamar's not going to get there. I'm bummed out. I'm bummed out even more. I'm not a fucking Ravens fan. I don't care about the Ravens. But I'm bummed out about. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I think he gets so much hate, and I knew that everybody was salivating for him to lose this game.
I'll say
and
this
that's a
also, like as a fan, like I wanted the Chiefs to win, and if that meant Lamar not playing well, then whatever. But if I had my choice, like I would have preferred like Lamar play a great game, Chiefs win. And so I was hearing like Lamar hate is really fucking annoying. It's like it's not rooted in anything that's it goes against your eyes. Like we've seen the guy just like do amazing fucking things consistently. Like people tried to doubt him after his rookie year. They tried to doubt him after his MVP season, which is one of the best seasons a quarterback's ever had. And
he was slept on in the draft, fell to the end of the first round.
And so like I'm rooting for him. And I was happy to see him play really well against the Texans. I wish he would have, because I don't think anyone could really knock him if you lose to Mahomes in the playoffs and you play well. So it was a bummer that...
It was a bummer. I mean...
But luckily, I think there's a lot of blame that can be placed on the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It reminds me of... do you guys remember the Super Bowl of Steelers Seahawks?
Yeah.
That's impressive because it was a very forgettable Super Bowl.
right?
Yeah,
Antoine Randall throws a big pass to Hines Ward. Willie Parker on touchdown, 75 yard touchdown. It. But there's a couple really...
That's the James Harrison game, right?
No, that's Cardinals Steelers, which was a much better game. That was a phenomenal... That was one of the best Super Bowls ever, in my opinion. Because Larry Fitzgerald was also on another planet that year. And Larry Fitzgerald is, other than Randy Moss, my favorite non-Steeler ever. The Seahawks got hosed on a couple calls.
Yeah, that's the big...
But they, like, also played pretty bad. And, like, Willie Parker, I loved the guy. Do you remember Willie Parker?
Yeah.
If you breathed on him, he fell down. He was one of the easy... He's not a tackle-breaking guy. And they let him go untouched 75 yards. And, like, it's like... It feels a little bit like that for the Ravens this year of, like, fuck. Like, we took a couple bad calls. We also just, like, didn't play very well. Like... It's tough. I think, I mean, Lamar gets, like, where is Lamar getting hate from? Obviously, fans,
media. Like,
who are, like, his big haters in the media? Is, like, Skip Bayless a Lamar hater?
I mean, listen, they all, the people are trying to back up, everybody who didn't believe in him in the beginning, they're trying to back up their disbelief.
Yeah, it's confirmation bias.
Yeah, and so they're just like, see, told you. When it's like, I understand, like some people think that Dak Prescott gets too much hate. Dak Prescott lost in the wild card after having the third best season in the league. Like, this guy made it to the AFC Championship. And that was the first game that he played, or, you know, maybe out of how many games did you get? Was that 17, 16 games? 17 games?
17 regular
17 games out of 17 games. That was maybe the fourth bad game he had. I know he started off kind of slow.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like an industry of sports media types that, like, I mean, it's all of them. Bayless, that's like they pick their guy and they're like, I'm gonna hate on this guy. Like, there's definitely guys that like will shit on Mahomes. There was like a ranking of like divisional round quarterbacks.
Those
rankings.
Guys are right.
Well, there's like a divisional round quarterback rankings, and then of the 8 teams, like Mahomes was 7th. And it's like, okay, you think Mahomes is the 7th best quarterback of 8 in the divisional round of the playoffs?
No.
Can I have a quick aside? I was at a bar a couple weeks ago, watched the game, and they had MLB Network on one of the TV, and they were doing their rankings by position of guys not yet in the Hall of Fame. And they had top 10 right fielders not yet in the Hall of Fame, and they had Barry Bonds at number 8. And I was like, either don't put him on the list because of this, or like, but you can't say that you can't say that Dave Parker is better than Ben. It was ridiculous.
Dave Parker wouldn't say that.
No.
No, Patrick Mahomes is in my opinion the
Carl
top 12,
4th best quarterback in the league.
Carl
right now.
Yeah,
he's arguably the best quarterback of all time.
Interesting.
All right, who else are you?
To our opinions.
Who else are you saying is better than him if you're putting
opinions.
him at 4? You're saying Lamar.
I'm saying Lamar. I'm saying
Allen.
You know, you're searching.
Let me think. I'm saying Joey B.
Joey Burrow.
The resumes
All right,
don't
three.
even compare.
3. I'll give him 3. I give him 3, and then when he puts on those black and whites, I give him 3. I give him 2. He's not better than Lamar to me.
All right, I'll
I
say
won't
this.
say that.
I'll say this.
I think he's been luckier than Lamar. I think he's had some great performances. But I don't even think that yesterday was that impressive. I don't even he checked down a bunch of times and Travis Kelce was open a lot. And
It was far from the most-
Travis Scott was there hyping him up, though.
MVS made a big
play. He got lucky. He got lucky. And then
it was far from the best Mahomes performance.
It was not at all. And then, but he's now getting Patrick Mahomes takes him to another Super Bowl. It's like, all right, man. Like,
I mean,
Brady.
It's 4 Super Bowls in 5 years.
But Brady was never my favorite either. I don't think Brady is the GOAT.
No, I'm saying Brady also like the Super Bowl he won with the Bucks. I didn't think he really did that much shit that year.
No.
They got a really lucky playoff run. I didn't think he played that well.
Their defense was crazy.
But it's still he won a 7th or 8th, whatever. Seventh Super Bowl. So
Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time.
I remember when Manning retired, I was still clinging to Manning was better than Brady, and then Brady went and added 4 more fucking rings, and I was
at the time it was way more comparable. But yeah, that last because that was 2015, and Brady won 3 more after that.
Well, also someone posted this the other day that it's been a few years now since they added the 17th game to the schedule, and still no one has come close to breaking those Peyton Manning records from that season in Denver when he had Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders.
Really enough passing numbers have been, especially this year, down.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
But yeah, Manning was on another plan. Well, I'll say this though, because Lamar. What I wanted to say was Lamar does get a lot of stupid hate. My hatred of him is a rivalry hatred, not a denial of his insane ability.
Nah, man, you gotta like him or it's racism. That's what I was telling James.
You're not fully wrong.
That's what I was telling James yesterday. Some people you just gotta like. Some people you gotta like.
If Martin Luther King was a Ravens fan.
If Martin Luther King,
did you see that dude?
Oh yeah, the guy who looked like him. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he looked like him.
He got hated on too because he's got a white wife, and everybody was going off on the Jonathan Majors being like he found his Coretta.
Yeah,
that was great. But who would I? Let me see. Who do you have to like? Who do you have to like? Or is let me think.
NFL version.
If Martin Luther King played for the Cowboys.
How would you feel?
And I was a white man with the same name, obviously, Carl Tart. But I got a comb over, and I work at Deloitte. And
Deloitte? You're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Because the white Carl Tart would work at Deloitte.
Oh, you're right.
The black one isn't afforded those opportunities.
You got to do dog shit like Fox and NBC.
Yeah. I got to work. I got to have
I'm picturing
TV
this
show.
white Carl Tart.
He actually sounds pretty funny.
Yeah. He played offensive tackle at Colgate, but he wasn't.
Not bad.
He wasn't
pretty good.
He wasn't interested in football. He was interested in getting his Deloitte license.
License to Deloitte.
License to Deloitte.
Afternoon Deloitte.
But if there's one thing he hates, it's the Dallas Cowboys. But Martin Luther King is the quarterback, and Malcolm X is the number 1 receiver. He's gotta like him. He's gotta like him.
You still gotta like him. You say?
Are there other NFL players that have that distinction?
Well, Kaepernick. I mean, he had.
Well, now that Patrick Mahomes has moved out of being a black quarterback, he left. He turned in his card.
What about pre-dogfighting scandal Michael Vick?
You gotta love him post.
Yeah, post. Honestly, yeah.
You gotta love him more.
Honestly, he's done a lot of charity
especially you as a
work.
Steelers fan. You have to love him.
Yeah.
Because
he came in and won that game on the goal line for us.
Who cares about that game? The fans boycotting Michael Vick being a Steeler while cheering for rapist Ben Roethlisberger.
Get that guy.
Yeah.
You care more about dogs than women?
Well, okay, let's not get into it. At their relative abilities at the time. No, that was, but I do remember being like, oh, the Steelers signed, it was like the Steelers, someone did it to me in a cruel way, which was like the Steelers signed another quarterback, and I was like, oh, finally, who? And it was like, oh, of all the people.
Anyone who like hated on Michael Vick after he got out of prison fucking sucked. Like the dude, one, like did his time, so that's it. Like I mean,
Two, wasn't directly involved with the dogfighting.
yeah, and also he's like, man, he felt bad.
He felt terrible.
Yeah.
He's like he's so bad. She's like, man, I'm gonna actually work to make sure that
But I don't know.
make sure that this isn't a thing anymore.
But
he
I'm
was
saying
donating
that-
money he didn't have.
At that point, I think it would be, you could have disliked him and had plausible deniability of racism. Whereas, like, prior to the dog thing, what other possible reason?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just racist. Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for in this world. Plausible deniability of racism.
The dogfighting was Lamar's game yesterday. Like, it gave them a reason to hate him.
But let me say this. I've been trying to say this. Lamar gets all this hate, but also at the end of the day, he's about to get his second MVP award, and he got the biggest contract in history.
He's like locked in. Yeah,
Like there was drama around the contract, and then like drama with other teams reportedly not being interested in making a trade for him.
the collusion.
But at the end of the day, he got the biggest contract. Like he has gotten a fair amount of flowers. He has. But like there's a huge swath of shitheads that are still being shitty about
He's
it.
gotten the flowers that grow on weeds. He's gotten those yellow flowers that grow on weeds.
Well, I think like because he's going to get a second MVP, I think like he's now definitely
better.
a lock for the Hall of Fame.
You sure they're not gonna give it to Christian McCaffrey?
Nah, he's got it.
No.
He's got it locked up.
No, it should and will go to Lamar, but God, watching McCaffrey in the second half, it's so fucking frustrating when you're rooting against him for fantasy reasons or football reasons. He's just so fucking annoyingly good. And they feed him the ball so much. I'm talking McCaffrey now.
Wait, so Carl, who are you going to root for in the Super Bowl if you have to pick? Like you're watching it.
Nobody. No rooting this year.
What about
Just eating.
just see?
Remember in Bad News Bears when they get knocked out, but then the other team gets the measles?
Yeah.
It could be a situation where the Chiefs get the measles and they put the Ravens back in.
That would be sick. You know,
But then-
I've been thinking about this since the games were over last night, and I'm just like, can I bring myself to root for the 49ers? And that is tough.
Nick Bosa's on the edge of his seat right now.
Nick Bosa. See, and this is what's crazy. I'm about to root for Nick Bosa over Patrick Mahomes.
Bro, to me, the thing that's always trumped all for me is like the hatred of the division rival. Like when the Phillies knocked the Braves out a couple years ago, I was rooting for the Astros in
Yeah, I
the
can't
World
do it.
Series because
Can't do it.
I know. We had just played them the year before. I fucking hate that. I think they should have got way more punishment for the cheating shit. And I was like, but I just can't.
If
I
it's the
cannot
Raiders
pull
or
for the
Broncos.
Phillies or Mets or Ravens or Lakers. I can't
Yeah.
do it. Can't
If
do
it's Raiders or Broncos, I'm not. I'm rooting for whoever they're playing. If
it.
it's
See, that doesn't rub you the wrong way.
It does.
He doesn't even care about the Chargers. He let the Chargers off the
I'd
hook.
say
no,
like
I don't care
depending
about
on who
Chargers
they depending on who they're playing. Like if it's the Cowboys, I'd probably root for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Raiders, would you root for the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Damn.
Boy, that would be an America loses situation.
Yeah, I can't stand the Raiders.
The
And
Raiders are tight.
they have the best uniforms in football.
Oh, I disagree.
Who's got the best?
We can rank uniforms next week.
And
I'm
we're
gonna
doing
tune
our
in for
Pro
that Super Bowl preview
recap.
show.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you like in colors. I personally think the best uniforms in football are the Saints, because I think black and gold is sick, and of course that's my favorite team. But take that away, surprisingly enough, I think the Falcons. I think black and red is sick. When they got the black jerseys on, I think those are pretty sick. The old school logo though, that red
With
helmet with the
red
F
helmet
bird,
with- yeah.
like
That's cool.
that
I think
shit
the
is hard.
Steelers Bumblebee
Wait a minute.
uniforms are number one.
Still
My-
pretty cool.
I never realized that the Falcons bird was an F.
Mm-hmm. Both of them are. You got like a fast F and a classy F.
I can't even picture it right now.
I never. Is there? You never did? Did you know
I
this?
can't even picture it in my head right
Jacksonville has some pretty sick uniforms.
I say,
Yeah.
like,
for me, and this is again because of my bias, like I mentioned, my favorite non-Steeler, those old, just purple and yellow Vikings.
I do like
Randy
Vikings
Moss
ones, too.
streaking down the field,
Yeah.
his lanky ass in that purple and yellow. Ooh, that was like
All right, chill.
beautiful. His strong, sinewy forearms.
Hey, my man.
Who's got the worst?
The worst uniforms in football?
Steelers, Bumblebees. Let's be real.
You know who? Hey, you know what uniforms don't get the love that they should?
Chargers?
And I might be lying about this. Chargers got sick uniforms.
Yeah, they're great.
Their whole
The powder blue, too. The best.
Powder blue
sick,
is
the navy
always
blue.
good.
When they do all powder is sick. When they do powder and gold is sick. When they do all navy, fucking Green Bay.
You like?
That green jersey is tight to me
Yeah.
with the yellow pants.
Who's
Yeah,
the
the full
worst?
aesthetic. Like the green jerseys at Lambeau, pretty cool. Yeah.
Who's the worst? I mean, no one jumps out as particularly bad the way like sometimes when Oregon.
Cardinals.
This might be biased. Cardinals are pretty like boring.
Yeah.
You're gonna say the Broncos.
I think the Broncos.
Yeah,
kinda suck.
they came to my mind too. Honestly, I think
I'm sick of theirs. I think they should revamp them.
The Broncos.
Yeah.
I think
You know,
go back to the old schools like
Yeah.
the orange and
They did play in
black
those a couple times this year, and they
Yeah.
look tight.
the Bengals white Bengal tiger thing is pretty sick.
You like the whiteout Bengals? I do
like
like
the
that
whiteout.
one. I like
Oh,
the
yeah.
I like the orange helmet on the
Some
Bengals.
of them like sometimes it depends what's happening because you think of like the like sort of throwbacky, really simple Cleveland Browns uniform.
Browns have the worst uniform.
When
I
they're
would say
getting
that too.
when
Brown is an
it's
ugly
like
color.
Baker
Yeah, it's an ugly
Mayfield
color.
throwing the
They do
ball
nothing.
away in
Yeah.
that uniform,
Yeah.
it sucks. But when it's Nick Chubb running over a motherfucker in that uniform, it
Man.
kind of goes hard.
Yeah.
Like we know I have a soft spot for Chubb.
You really do.
As I was saying that sentence, a soft spot
like-
for Chubb. I mean, that's an autobiography title.
What's the name of their elf?
Brownie. Brownie the elf.
What was Javante saying? He was like, what do they call? He's calling him like a Smurf or something.
Yeah, he's a little trickster.
I think Bengals got dope uniforms.
Yeah,
I
the
think they're
whiteout
top.
unis are good.
Where else? Miami. Remember the orange ones that they played in?
Yeah,
The Ricky Williams days? Those were pretty sick.
those
man.
actually were great. Yeah,
I
love-
miss Ricky Williams, man. Remember when he was in a bride gown on the cover of ESPN magazine with Mike Ditka?
Talk about
people fucking lost their
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, that's why. When you look at that picture, I'm not the type of person who, like, there's been a lot of controversy amongst like black men and emasculation in Hollywood and stuff.
Yeah,
like
there's a
that
great
in
30
sports.
Rock episode about it.
Yeah, but then also the the auctiony vibe of like the combine and NFL shit
Yeah.
like that. Seeing him on that cover, buff as fuck with that wedding dress on, and Mike Dicker standing behind him, that is an insane
It was
picture.
pretty insane.
That shit is insane.
Wait, what was the one that just did a cover with LeBron and some woman, and then I found out that the art inspiration they were using was like a King Kong thing.
Oh yeah. I know. What
it
you're
was like
some
it was
sort
like
of-
a fashion magazine. It was like
Yeah.
Vanity Fair
Yeah,
or
and it's like-
something.
It's
Who is the woman that he's with? Is she an athlete or an actress? Those are the only two things women can be. I'm very, very
If they're gonna be
regressive
recognized for
and
something.
Women belong in the athletic facilities.
I can't remember the.
Women belong in the kitchen doing meal prep for their strict exercise regimen for their
So they
professional
can be in the
sports
pool.
job.
Who else got bad jersey? Let me think here.
And Ricky Williams just wanted to smoke weed at a certain point, right?
Yeah,
I bet now they
That was-
would have let him do it.
You know what Cowboys jerseys I like? The blue with the white shoulders.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
The old school ones.
49ers
Is that like-
jerseys. I like the ones from there.
When they wear their gold pants, they look tight.
Yeah, I also like do you remember like it's like the mid '90s, like the year they had Dion, like they had like kind of like it's like the letters look like they were like 3D.
3D letters, yeah,
Yeah.
those are sick.
Yeah,
They should bring those back for the Super Bowl.
They need to start.
Where are we
doing-
at time wise, Kevin?
Yeah, we don't have a clock.
We're
on
at an
it.
hour.
Oh shit. Good. Wrap this bullshit up. Sick of this. For this year's Super Bowl, here's my prediction. My nuts. Pissed off. Can't believe you. Apologize to me, Ryan.
I'm gonna take.
You've hurt my feelings.
I'm gonna take Carl's nuts, but I want the points. So the Greg
I wanna
bet is Carl's nuts plus 2.5.
we should.
If my nuts were going up against Patrick Mahomes, they'd be called for pass interference every time.
Who do you guys like in the Pro Bowl flag football game? Real quick.
Jamar Chase.
The team. The
don't
team
know.
that Peyton is coaching.
I don't
All I know is who's coaching each year. Well, what are the rosters?
No, fuck.
Well, you fucking ass, mother. This is great radio.
We'll get into our Super Bowl predictions next week.
Yeah. We'll give you the real deal. Real quick, I want to shout out Landon Mize for this T-shirt. Send me a bunch of cool Chiefs T-shirts, art prints he does. You can check out his stuff at prettycreeps.com.
Eat your heart out, Kyle Juszczyk's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, make one of those jackets, Landon.
What's this guy's name? Landon what?
Landon Mize.
Landon Mize.
Landon
That's
Mize.
the Super Bowl. Is a battle between Landon Mize and
The juice.
I want to
wife.
call her
You-
Kylie Juszczyk, but that's Kylie Kelsey. What's Christian Juszczyk?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. Clay wore a cool 49ers jacket.
That she
Did you see
made.
that she
Yeah,
made? Did
yeah.
you see that one?
That's
Who?
pretty cool. Klay
Klay
Thompson.
No.
Yeah, he rode in on a bike.
Yeah, he did. Did it look like he literally rode to the stadium on a
Yeah,
bike?
probably. I can see him riding through San Francisco on a bike.
I mean, he was the one who was just like kayaking around the bay that one time.
I wonder where do those guys live.
Let's find him.
Yeah, let's find their asses. Where you live at, Draymond? We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was a headgum podcast.